Hi students, in previous section we discussed about intrinsic semiconductors. Now in this section we are discussing about extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, what are extrinsic semiconductors? Okay, a semiconductor in which impurities have been added in control manner are called extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, we learn about intrinsic semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors are pure in form, but external semiconductors are impure in form because we are adding some impurities. Okay, so the process of addition of impurities is called as doping. What is doping? Doping is process of addition of impurities to the pure semiconductor. And what we added, that impurities are called as dopants. So impurity atoms are called as dopants. Okay, there are two types of dopants. The first one is pentavalent. These are also called as donor impurities. And the second one is trivalent. These are called as acceptor impurities. In the periodic table, fifth group elements are related to the pentavalent impurity and third group related to the trivalent impurity. Okay, we know some elements in the pentavalent impurity: phosphorus, antimony, bismuth, arsenic, etc. Okay, and a trivalent impurity is nothing but third group elements. Third group elements are indium, gallium, boron, etc. Okay, so if you adding a pentavalent impurity, then there is a formation of n-type semiconductor. If you adding a trivalent impurity, then p-type semiconductor is formed. Okay, so extrinsic semiconductors are again divided into two parts. One is n-type semiconductor, another one is p-type semiconductor. So if you add a pentavalent impurity to the pure semiconductor, then n-type semiconductor is formed. If you add a trivalent impurity to the pure semiconductor, then a p-type semiconductor is formed. Now we are briefly discuss about n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor. Okay. Now by addition of impurity, what happens? If you add some impurities, the conductivity of the semiconductors is increases. Okay. For example, if you added one part of impurity to 10 power 9 atoms of germanium or silicon crystal, Okay, just one part of impurity added to the 10 power 9 atoms of the germanium or silicon crystal, then its conductivity increases by factor of 10 power 3. So 1000 times the conductivity increases. Okay, just if you added one part of impurity to the 10 power 9 atoms of germanium or silicon. In some books they said 10 power 7 atoms and it is increased by factor of 10 power 4. Okay, some books follow this method, but whatever may be, if you adding the impurities, conductivity increases very huge amount. That's why we are using extrinsic semiconductors in the preparation of the electronic devices. Intrinsic semiconductors, internal semiconductors conductivity is very low compared with the extrinsic semiconductors now. That's why we are not using intrinsic semiconductors in electronic device. We are using only extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, note it down. Now let us see about the n-type semiconductor. N-type semiconductor is obtained by addition of pentavalent impurity to the pure semiconductor. Okay, we said one of the example for pentavalent impurity is arsenic. So if you added an arsenic atom, okay, a small impurity of arsenic to the germanium crystal or silicon crystal, your wish, I consider a germanium crystal, then the arrangement is like this. See here, arsenic is pentavalent now, that's why it has the 5 electrons. 1 2 3 4 5 electrons. Okay, so out of these 5, 4 electrons forms covalent bonds with the neighboring germanium atoms. Okay, in arsenic atom there is 5 valence electrons. Out of 5, 4 valence electrons forms 4 covalent bonds with the neighboring germanium atoms. So here the appearance of the crystal lattice is in this way. Understand? Now, one electron is there now. This electron is loosely bounded with the arsenic atom. Okay, 4 electrons forms 4 covalent bonds with the germanium atom, but one electron, it does not have any covalent bond. So whenever it does not have any covalently bond, it is loosely attached with the arsenic atom. So if you give a little amount to this electron, then it is immediately free. Whenever it becomes free, automatically it is moves randomly in the crystal lattice. Okay, so how much of energy given to this electron? Okay, it is completely based on the nature of the crystal lattice. For germanium, its value is 0.01 electron volt, and for silicon its value is 0.05 electron volt. This energy is called as ionization energy. Okay, to remove the electron from the atom, we require this much of energy. Understand? Now, at room temperature, what happens? At room temperature, no doubt this electron is immediately breaks this bond. Secondly, we know at room temperature, due to thermal vibrations of these atoms, covalent bonds break now. whenever covalent bonds break, electron hole pair is formed, but the number of holes which are created due to this covalent bond is very less compared with the electrons which are donated by the impurity atom. That is a very important thing. So in n-type semiconductors, what happens? Number of electrons donated by impurity atom is much greater than number of holes due to broken off covalent bonds. Understand? So more number of free electrons is mainly due to the impurity atoms. Okay. Now on donating this electron, the impurity atom now becomes positively charged. It donates one electron now. That's why now this impurity atom is positively charged. Okay, that's why the n-type semiconductor is represented like this. It contains some donor impurities. Due to donation of electrons, these impurity atoms got the positive charge. So these are called as positive ions. So this is represented by immobile positive ions or donor ions. Okay, and next we have free electrons now. So here I may denoted with dot lines. Dot line indicates the free electrons. So anywhere in the semiconductor electronics chapter, n-type semiconductor is generally denoted by this symbol. Okay, and n-type semiconductor is electrically neutral. That means the total charge of n-type semiconductor is always 0. It is electrically neutral. Okay, you may have some doubt. Sir, there is some free electrons is available now. So due to the creation of the free electrons, is there any possibility of having more number of charge, negative charge? Not. Why? Because the creation of the free electrons does not result in the additional charge of the atom. So in overall atom if you take, then there is no much increase in the charge, that is negligible. That's why it is always called as electrically neutral. Is it clear? So this is about the free electron theory related to the n-type semiconductor. Now we may go through the band theory. We know in band theory we have two bands. One is valency band and another one is conduction band. Okay, so this is valency band and this is valency band and this is conduction band. Okay, now valency band contains bounded electrons. Okay, and at room temperature some electrons are jumped to the conduction band. That's why they have some free electrons and there is a possibility of some holes in the valency band. Okay, but the problem here is in entire semiconductor we are adding certain impurities now. These impurities forms a donor level which is nearer to the conduction band. So what is this? This is called donor level. Okay, this donor level contains these loosely bounded electrons. Okay, so these loosely bounded electrons are available in the donor level. Whenever the temperature is given, because at room temperature, the temperature is enough to break these bonds now. That's why these electrons now present in the conduction band. Whenever the free electrons in the conduction band is more compared with the holes in the valency band now. Observe here only 3 holes is there according to this diagram, and here more number of free electrons is there. All these free electrons are moves randomly in the conduction band. So the concentration of electrons in the conduction band is much greater than the concentration of holes in the valency band, particularly in n-type semiconductor. Understand? So to move the electrons from here donor level to the conduction band, this amount of energy is just required. But to move the electrons from the valency band to the conduction band, it requires energy gap, forbidden energy value. We know for germanium that is 0.7 and for silicon that is 1.1 electron volt. If you give that much of energy, then only the electrons in the valency band are jumps to the conduction band. But if you give a very little amount of 0.01 for germanium or 0.05 electron volt for silicon, then the electrons which are loosely bounded with the impurity atom, they are immediately jump to the conduction band. Please keep in mind the number of electrons are more in the conduction band compared with the number of electrons in the valency band. So what are the majority charge carriers in the n-type semiconductor? The majority charge carriers are here electrons and minority charge carriers are holes. Majority charge carriers are electrons, minority charge carriers are holes. And we have a relation between the Ne, NH and Ni. Here the relation is Ne into NH is equal to Ni square. Ni is nothing but intrinsic carrier concentration. Understand? This is about the n-type semiconductor. Understand now? Here the average energy of electrons in the conduction band is much greater than the average energy of holes in the valency band. In case of intrinsic semiconductors, the average energy of conduction electrons in the conduction band is equal to the average energy of holes in the valency band, because how many number of free electrons available in conduction band is equal to the number of holes present in the valency band in case of intrinsic semiconductor. But in case of extrinsic semiconductor, particularly in n-type semiconductor, the number of electrons in the conduction band more than number of electrons in the valency band. So number of holes in the valency band. That's why average energy of these free electrons is more than the average energy of holes in the valency band. Clear? So this is about n-type semiconductor. Now p-type semiconductor. In p-type semiconductor, a trivalent impurity is added to the pure semiconductor. Okay, trivalent impurities, we said third group elements like indium. For suppose I added some indium element to the germanium crystal lattice. Indium has 3 valence electrons now. So it is one valence electron, it is another valence electron, and here another valence electron. Now, indium forms three covalent bonds with the neighboring germanium atoms. Now, to form the fourth covalent bond, germanium contributes one electron, but there is a deficiency in the there is a deficiency of electron is present in the covalent bond. This deficiency is named as hole. Are you understand? So, if an impurity atom called indium is added to the germanium crystal, then indium forms three covalent bonds with three germanium atoms. The fourth covalent bond, only germanium atom contributes the electron, and there is a deficiency of electron. The deficiency of electron is called as hole. So by adding impurities, here more number of holes are available. Okay. Now temperature rises. If the temperature rises, we know covalent bonds are breaks, and due to breaking of covalent bonds, again free electron is available, but more number of holes are present. So in p-type semiconductor, huge number of holes is there compared with the free electrons. Okay, due to this, the p-type semiconductor is represented like this. Okay, hole has positive charge now. This positive charge is balanced by indium. Indium is nothing but impurity atom. That impurity atom now ready to accept the charge carriers. Right now, that's why it is called as acceptor ion. So acceptor immobile ions are denoted by the negative symbol. Okay, here negative symbol indicates acceptor impurity atoms. These are immobile. Okay. Next, here we take the holes. So small circles indicates the holes, and immobile acceptor ions are indicated by the negative symbol. So this p-type semiconductor is also electrically neutral. Means the total charge of p-type semiconductor is 0 because it is electrically neutral, because of the positively charge of holes is balanced by the negative charge on immobile atoms. Okay, positive charge of holes is balanced by negative charge on impurity atoms. These are impurity atoms now. So the negative charge impurity atoms balanced by the positive charge on the holes. That's why it is always electrically neutral. Okay, intrinsic semiconductor electrically neutral, extrinsic semiconductor also electrically neutral. Okay, whether it is p type or n type. Clear? Now let us see about band theory. So according to band theory, we know this is valency band and this is conduction band. Now this is valency band and it is conduction band, and this is named as energy gap. For germanium it is 0.7 electron volt. Okay, if you give 0.7 electron volt to germanium atom, then the bounded electrons in the valency band jump to the conduction band. Okay, so at room temperature it contains more number of holes. This p-type semiconductor na, it has more number of holes and less number of electrons in the conduction band. More number of holes in valency band, less number of electrons in the conduction band. And whenever you adding certain amount of impurity, then an acceptor level is formed, which is nearer to the valency band. This is called acceptor level. Okay, this acceptor level contains more number of holes now, and this gap is for germanium. Previously we said this is 0.01 electron volt, and for silicon this value is 0.05 electron volt. If you supply this amount by increasing the temperature or by giving certain electrical energy or by photon energy, okay, whatever may be the value of energy, the way of energy you given, this is just sufficient to create more number of holes in the valency band. Understand? So here hole concentration in valency band much greater than electron concentration in the conduction band. Understand? So majority charge carriers in p-type semiconductor are holes, minority charge carriers are electrons, and the relation between the NH, Ne and Ni is NH into Ne is equal to Ni square. Here Ni is called as intrinsic carrier concentration. Okay, the same formula we discussed in the N-type semiconductor also. Clear? So this is about p-type semiconductor. So in p-type semiconductor, the p-type semiconductor is obtained by addition of trivalent impurity to the pure semiconductor. Okay. So if you adding one indium atom to the germanium crystal, then 3 electrons in the indium atom forms 3 covalent bonds. Okay, the diagram is like this now. Okay, so 3 electrons in the indium atom forms 3 covalent bond with neighboring germanium atoms. But to form the 4th covalent bond, germanium atom contributes 1 electron, but indium atom does not have any electron. That means deficiency of electron is there. That's why if you added a trivalent impurity to the pure semiconductor, more number of holes are available. And this indium impurity creates one acceptor level which is nearer to the valency band. And if you give a little bit amount of energy to this impurity atom, that means p-type semiconductor, then more number of holes are formed in the valency band compared with the electrons in the conduction band. Okay, please remember this relation NH into Ne is equal to Ni square. And we have a formula for conductivity in the intrinsic semiconductor. Conductivity formula is E into Ne mu E plus NH mu H now. But here NH is much greater than the Ne. That's why we can neglect the word related to the Ne mu E. So what is the formula for conductivity in case of p-type semiconductor? E into NH mu H. This is nearly equal. If you want resistivity, reciprocal of this value gives the resistivity. Here E is charge of hole, NH is the hole concentration, mu H is mobility of the holes. Okay. Thank you.